This is the 8-9 Combo.
This is the 8-9 Combo. I'm Brett McKay. This is Harry Jones, and this is the final Weekend Post-Mortem of 2025, following the last match of the Autumn Nations Series and the November Test in Cardiff. A very big international rugby year is finally done, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's a marathon. Of course, the Southern Giants always go up north at the very end with no names. Sometimes you saw that Boan Fanta, who was on no one's bingo cards, was scrumming against Ireland a week ago. And it kind of like, it points out the depth you have to have. All Blacks talked about it, how hard a Grand Slam is. Even if you should win each of those games individually, the accumulation of it. And then, of course, you now have these tests that are tucked in at the end, like Wales, let's make some money by feeding our guys to the slaughter.
Yeah.
You wonder about Test rugby and who's in charge, and with player welfare, which is always said and talked about, is it really paramount? But still, the guys in Cardiff got to see the world champs come in and roll.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder if player welfare is as important as balance sheet welfare.
Exactly. And surely today that's what won out, is the balance sheet. I don't know what they cleared from the
I was going to say, how much money do you reckon they make?
It's probably pretty good. I mean, you're talking about millions on a day. And anytime you can harvest that in the Welsh situation, you're probably almost to the stakeholders as a fiduciary.
Almost obliged.
You probably have to.
Yes.
But you also say to your players who are trying to tackle Andre essays and good luck. And we're right here with the physios ready. Yeah.
Indeed. We'll jump into it in just a second. But first, mate, please tell the lovely people about subscribing to the 8-9, as you do so well every week.
Subscription makes you feel good. The thing about life is it's so repetitive in some ways. And so just do something different. If you haven't subscribed yet, then the thing to do differently is to subscribe. It's that simple. In fact, start doing that in all parts of your life. Whatever you haven't been doing, do that. Well, everything, but still. This is harmless. It's healthy. I cannot think of any bad thing that will happen to you from subscribing. It won't cost you money. It will not put you into some kind of list. So just do it and feel good about yourself. That's it. That's the sales pitch.
Yeah. At least there was no mention of wanking. If you are watching us on the YouTube channel, the red button down there in the corner is what you need to hit. If you're listening on any of the pod platforms, then you know what it is. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is. And wherever you are, if you're listening, watching, whatever, make sure your notifications are turned on, then you don't miss anything. And you certainly don't miss anything when we have little breaks and things like we're about to soon. This weekend's result, mate, it's a fairly obvious one. South Africa 73 have beaten Wales 0. Wales' biggest ever loss on home soil. So we get straight into the 5-word headline, mate. What have you got? And I've got a good feeling about mine already.
The silence of Welsh lambs.
I don't mind that. I've gone for alliteration, and I hope you'll go with me on this. Yeah, and you've got to be careful. You've got to be really listening on this. Boks, bliterate, bleak Boyos.
Bliterate.
There's a little bliterate. Yeah, there's a little thing on that.
A word invention. Well,
Yes.
I think in headline worlds, alliteration is the thing to do.
I think it can. Yeah. I think it might be it. So 73-0, as we say.
That graphic is a bit mean how it does double O. Like, it's just nil, but they have to emphasize it.
Yes. For our podcast listeners, we're utilizing the Nation Series social tiles, and they've all series. I must say they've been preferring the double digit 0, which I agree. I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just piling misery upon misery.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking a wider view before this. I mean, we'll get into the game, but how hard it is to go up north at the end of your season, even the great teams, and the All Blacks have had the greatest of great teams over the years go up there and stumble. And so I looked at 2018 and 2017, but 2018 was 5 games if you count the Wallabies. And so there were three tough games, the Wallabies, England, and Ireland. And there were 2 kind of gimmies, Japan and Italy at the time. And the All Blacks went 37-20 against the Wallabies, so a 17-point margin. Huge score against Japan, but they let Japan score 31 points. 15 against England, just by the skin of their underpants. And then lost 9-16 to Ireland, and then obliterated Italy. 3. And so you look at that and you go, that was a great team. And you look at the list of people on that team, it's stacked. And they were the supreme. And so I think the Bok achievement here, instead of going from in each game, it's just that the whole of winning margins of 73, 54, 18, 15, and 11. The closest one was 11.
Do you want me to pop your graphic up?
Yeah, scoring points galore, 61, 32, 22, 24, 73. The tries, the least was 4 per, and then the breaks developed, and then always built on a kicking game. So you look at the number of kicks, and it sort of staggers you, I just think this is a great achievement by a Bok team in the middle of a cycle when traditionally we haven't done well. We've traditionally kind of dipped, stayed number 1, finished number 1, and put teams away. And, even the closest one against Ireland, it's a bit misleading because Ireland, by the time it was just too late. They couldn't come back. And so at some point you just go, take the 3. But, it felt like a 2-score game. And what a way to finish, where Wales could have scored at the final bit, and the Boks were so well drilled that they thought, no, it has to be a clean
I was really torn there at the end. And we will get into the game. It had sort of become a little bit scrappy and it's a bit scrappy in several senses of the word toward the end. And so when they launched that last attack, I thought, I kind of think I want them to score from this play, and they couldn't ultimately. But then I was also looking at my notebook, and it's full. And if Wales had have scored, I would have had to go to another page. And
is that just the scoring? The scoring plays you have on?
Just the scoring.
73 is hard to do in rugby. You kind of run out of time and restarts at some point.
Yeah. Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu just with the 26 points could have had a neat 30.
Yeah,
missed 2 conversions.
So what was nice to see about him, and I think I was listening to the feed that had Wolverton, and Wolverton was talking about how
yes, I had the same one.
He is in contact, and I think that's also a good look to see. What they did is they said, let's just have a giant back line. There was only one guy who was small at 9. Everyone else was locks and flanks playing back line. And it's just a different way of playing. I think Rassi and Code really just try to experiment this year with different types.
Do you think, and I saw a few social comments along this line, do you think there's becoming an over-reliance on Scrum? Or is that more a reflection of the way the Scrum has now become it's not a vehicle to restart the game, it's now vehicle to win penalty?
Yeah, I think it's been that way for about 16, 17 years. And then this year was the year, as Hugh Griffin said,
it really
the World Rugby said, we want to protect weak scrums. And the funny thing is that only worked on medium good scrums against medium weak scrums. It didn't work for the Boks scrum against anyone. And so you could protect a pretty good scrum in Australia against the Boks, but you couldn't protect an actually weak scrum against the Boks. Yeah. So I think if you look at the actual big stats, you'll see the referees pinged less as a percentage than they had before. But there was just no stopping the Bok juggernaut on scrums.
Yeah.
And even winning tight heads against All Blacks twice, tight heads against the French, that's unbelievable to get a ball against the head. So I think Scrum, as the number of scrums depleted from the 90s to the 2000s, and it got to be almost a third of what it used to be. It wasn't enough to just be a restart. It had to be that you got pinged for being a weaker scrum, just being weaker. That's it. A bit of an infringement, but just being dominated had to be a penalty. Otherwise, why would you even bother to pick props? You just start picking utilitarians. And so they tried to make it where you were more knife's edge. It also makes the game more exciting at the end when you go to close it out. You're up by 3, but you have a scrum under the shadow of your own posts. The fact that you could lose a penalty makes the game more exciting than if you can just clear it easily. And the final thing is the idea that scrums are sort of separate and just a different part of the game is where I think people have gone away. Every place I know where the game is really popular, scrums are adored. France, South Africa, England. And it's the places where it's going away from that people are less interested. And my own reflection, this is anecdotal, in America or places that people haven't watched much rugby, they like the scrum. It's very interesting to them. They don't know why we don't like it.
It's a very unique part of rugby, definitely.
It's definitional. That's why we have our numbers.
Yeah.
So I think it's still true, as the French always said, no scrum, no win. But it's a little bit less true now because I think referees will make a team usable that actually they don't have to, shouldn't have to. And the other thing is they let you, as a weak team, clear the ball quicker by route 1. So I think you have escapes. But if you dare to try and scrum, you got to take the consequences, because if you try and hold it in and you get reversed, then you're going to be in trouble.
Indeed, South Africa got pinged for not hooking.
Yeah,
at one point in this game. So it's there's almost no point trying to summarize this game because it was just complete domination. It was complete obliteration. 10 tries to 0 is the tail of the tape there.
10 tries. Wow. Yeah,
10.
Ridiculous.
Actually, I might have miscounted.
I think it's 11 tries.
I think it's 11 tries. I think you're right.
And I think you said when we were looking before this, before the pod, I think you 11. Said that the Boks only had to attempt less than 100 tackles in the game, which is
I did. Yes,
again, phenomenal. Like if you just go back and look at most games, you see 150 to 200 tackles.
Yeah,
the Boks just didn't tackle.
That is the case. Wales made 190 tackles and missed 25. South Africa made 93 and missed 10. So that's extraordinary. At halftime, and I did write this down. At halftime, it was 102 to 24.
24 tackles.
Yeah, at halftime.
That's going to make your oranges really nice. No one even takes off their jerseys. No one does much stretching. Yep. You just kind of go, okay, let's go.
Yeah, it was complete control from South Africa. It was always. I don't think there was any danger that wouldn't be the case, but it was complete control. They had it from the outset. It started so well with Steenkamp getting over for that first great try. It's 28-0 by halftime when Morne Vandenberg gets over. And then we see the extraordinary part in the 51st minute and I can comfortably say I have never seen a game where an entire bench has gone on together. All 8 South African bench players went on, and then it ends in a kind of weird way, I've got to say, mate. Even Etzebeth, and I've got a graphic of it there on the screen with a fairly clear thumb into the eye of one of the Welsh back rowers. It's a straight red card, and I gotta say, I feel like there's a lengthy suspension coming his way, because I think eye gouge is going to start fairly long in terms of entry point, and I don't know how much mitigation you'll get. So, that's one way to ensure you get a break at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, eye gouge has always been despicable. We don't want that in the game. I am of the opinion that red cards, if we're going to go this way, it appears we are, that we're restricting them. They should be for intentional play that's outside the rugby.
Yeah.
Textbook, tripping, gouging, throwing upon.
Gouging definitely is.
And I don't like our fixation on accidental head contact is the only way you get there. I think it's more about dirty, foul, horrible play.
And which we were told was why the permanent red card needed to stay when we started talking about 20-minute reds.
Yeah, it's a bit weird when we see how it's applied. I do think, obviously, that there was contact with the eye. Now you get into the area there where, whilst I think you should always punish it, even if it wasn't intended, if someone's doing handbags, you do a lot of this. And the thing is, when you start doing this and something gets disturbed in any way, you're just grabbing something.
Yeah.
When you do that, you also have to ask yourself, but why did I need to do any of it in a game where you've scored 11 tries and you're up? You're the best player on the field.
And it's the 79th minute.
You're a legend. Sometimes you let the other guy win the fight.
Yeah. It's hard to see how that doesn't end in a fairly hefty suspension. So we'll see. So. We'll see how that plays out.
I don't equate that necessarily with even literally saying to himself, "I want to put my finger in his eye." But I think when you start to go down a road of pugilism, fighting, grappling, and you're handbagging, just understand that you lose all control of what ends up happening. And I don't see the need at 73-0 to do any of it.
In the 79th minute. No,
I don't. It wasn't against the French. It wasn't against Ireland where the tensions were high. It was one of those games where you're just going, make sure no one gets injured, make sure no one gets carded, and go back to your respective clubs.
Yeah. That's very true. So it almost feels there's no point asking what worked for the winners, what didn't work for the losers, because
everything worked.
Because the answer to both questions is everything.
Everything worked and nothing worked.
What do you think the two teams learned about themselves? And maybe we start with Wales on this. What do you think they get out of aside from bank balance and a reasonably full Principality Stadium in Cardiff, what do you think they actually get out of this game?
Well, so I think your question is one applied to any struggling team in a league, even club level, third division, and you're looking at a team. So it's always valuable to play the best team in the league.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate measuring stick, the way the All Blacks would have been in 2017, 2016. So you look at it, you say, where do we do it? And I think you also have to say, what's the quickest way there? Because I don't think any fan base really likes the answer to be, well, about 7 years, we'll have tight forwards. That doesn't play.
Yeah.
I think the style of play has to be different when they're up against a power team. Kicking has to be the foundation, the walls, the roof, everything. I think a kicking game, a footballing game from 9, 10, 12, and 15 is a Welsh tradition. It's got Welsh skills written all over it. It doesn't require you to be really big. It requires you to be smart and quick. And then a modicum of a pack survival. I mean, I just think they've got to beef that up, but I don't think they're going to win games off of it. But if you can survive there, a bit like Australia has for 6-7 years, they've been okay in the pack, but these brilliant footballers outside that bring in some of their backs. That's all I can get from it is there are moments in which that happened and it seemed like they could get some pay for it, but then they would go away from it.
I was going to say they did have a few moments of success with the kick. They did retain some of their ball, some of their kick balls. So that's got to be something. They can certainly challenge the best teams if they can get their kick and their chase and all of that right. Yes. I think that's probably something to take out of it. What did Rassie learn tonight?
So I got to have a nice look at Ben Jason Dixon at the blind side, who was topping the tackle counts. Admittedly, didn't have many tackles to make, but was good on the clean. Asanati and Tabakanye at prop was also a big tackler and busy for his size, 140 kgs. I think the reign of Ruan Nortje as the line-out captain and sort of the key linchpin there has come of age, that he's seen off the challenges of Lewitt, and I think he's the guy. Probably it's nice to see another 9 because you've seen
he looked all right too.
Williams, but you see Van Berg, you say, what's that look like? And I know that a 9's going to look as good as the ride their pack gives them. So we should probably not grade Mornay too high, but he did well, I thought. And so
he looked really good. His pass is good. His service is quick. So he looked good.
Just I think marginal players, the players that were third string. If they looked good, that's probably a good thing for Rusty to sort of know. Yeah.
Andre Esterhausen was a comfortable player of the match, and what we did learn in this game is that he can flick obviously between flank and midfield with no problem at all. So this game he played like a centre. The last few weeks he has been playing like a flanker, but he was back to playing like an inside centre in this game.
But did you know that he in camp he's been practicing with the forwards more than with the backs. So he's actually been trying to do the finer nuances of maul defense and so forth. But the question for you is, as a guy who loves gear, is which studs does he wear? Like what length? Because it's literally a big difference between what a loose forward wears and what a center wears. It's not the same boot.
It's a great question. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone who has that information, maybe Andre Giel has it, please tell us, because I would love to maybe get a free stream of his boot and see how. Yeah.
How many loose forwards these days do you reckon you're wearing 6 studs in the front of the foot, like a tight forward would?
Yeah, but I still think on the length of the actual insert, it's going to be different.
and maybe that's the difference. Maybe he's just got the long studs.
Because of scrum. So on scrums and in maul defense, most of all probably anytime you're rolling a maul, stopping a maul, you just need
the purchase. Yes, you do. You do. Look, I'm absolutely glad that this is the niche argument that we went for.
And he's Andre's also posing in both pictures post game nowadays, which is really funny too. He's in the middle, the forwards. He's in the middle of the backs.
yeah. I mean, the number of meetings he's got to go to has now doubled though, so there's got to be a trade-off, hasn't there?
Yeah, it does solve the what if we get carded awkwardly early in the game problem of different bench permutations. Yeah. There was always the Kwacha Dion Fori, but now there's the Andre Esterhuizen who can literally just kind of fit in wherever you want. Yeah. You probably still have to have one more player that fits in like that, and that's probably Kwacha still. It's going to be interesting if other teams. So a lot of teams are copying the Boks on some things, but they don't on that. On that one point, I think England does with Ben Earl. But that's a back rower who can essentially just run in the same channels at inside centre. Yeah, it's on carry.
It's not going the other way. You're right. No one else is doing that.
And if there were someone in Australia, for example, who would that be? Who would be a back who could play forward?
Dylan Peach.
Yeah. Dylan Peach looks like he's a convict working out.
As soon as I said no, there's no one, I realized who I was forgetting. Yeah.
So we put on about 6 or 7 kgs, could be a hell of a lock, I'm telling you.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure there's too much to add to this game. It was a dominant performance. There's really not much more to post-mortemize. I think we can call time of death on the Welsh rugby year. They've gone. I don't think they've ever gone winless in a year before. I'll stand corrected on that. But either way, it's not a great look for them. They've certainly got issues both on and off the field that they are desperate to attend to in some shape or form. I'm not sure how much dropping a team solves, but anyway, they'll work that out, I suppose. So I feel like that might be it, mate. Anything else to add?
No, just a great year for the world champs to escape.
Yes. I should say that 5 games on tour is an achievement. It's really, really hard to do. It's not done very often by anyone going in any direction. So that is an incredible end to a season, yes.
And I think what happens is also if you're number one and you're the defending world champs, everyone brings their best game at you.
Yeah, you've got a target on your back, your front, everywhere, yeah.
Incredibly elevated. So I think seeing off those challenges is great. I also think that the whole experience of whatever this thing was, the Quilter Nation series, I thought it was really fun. Even with some of the, it wasn't that great to be around the Wallaby sentiment because it was kind of grim. But I would say England, the Boks, Argentina at times.
Yeah, Argentina were fantastic.
There was just some great moments. It was wonderful. Yeah. It reminds you so much of why we love these hemispheric battles.
Yeah. Agree. And we'll probably get into that conversation with Sean Maloney himself midweek when we come back for him. But I think that is us done. You can tell us what you think of this game and the series by finding Harry and I on the socials. You can find the 8-9 Combo on the socials as well. Have your say here on the YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from you wherever you are. This is the 8-9 Combo, the short side set piece combination you didn't realise you needed in a rugby podcast. I'm Brett McKay. He's Harry Jones. And we will be back in your ears in just a few days' time with Sean Maloney for another great rugby chat to wrap it all up.
Come play with us.
Come bliterate us.
Bliteration.
Here goes Jones with another bruising run. He links up with McKay, who pops back to Jones. They can't. They won't. They will. What a try. The Dream Team Combo go in again.